Hey everybody, welcome back to Hudson's House of Play. You are joining me, Miss Lynn, for our craft tutorial. All of this week we are talking about the different types of science. And what is science? Well, it's the study of something. So today we learned about our physical science, which is the study of inanimate objects. And when you think about physical science, you're thinking chemistry or physics. So today we learned a little bit about gravity and how the earth pulls objects down and gives it weight. So today for our craft, we are going to do a really fun art project. I call it gravity art. And we are going to need a few objects for our materials. Let's talk about first a container. We need a container that is small and plastic. I have this Play-Doh, empty Play-Doh container that I am going to use, but you can even use a Keurig pod. Just dump out all of the grinds from the inside and remove the filter and any excess debris, and then you've got a great container. Now, what are we going to be using these containers for? We are going to put paint inside the container. We're going to poke a hole at the bottom. We're suspending the container and we're going to let it swing on a string and drip out all of the paint, and it will create a really cool artistic piece of work. Now let's see what we need for our string. You can use sewing string if you have that. Miss Lynn has, what is this? Just some, what is this? Oh, some twine. So I just have some plain brown string. Whatever you have works. And then we will need a piece of paper or any kind of a large blank canvas. I have a plain white piece of paper, but I also wanted to show you if you have a kitchen bag, something like this, you can cut this open and spread it out, or you can even use newspaper, like simple black and white newspaper. That way you can see the actual paint. This is also a good option. And if you even have pieces of cardboard lying around, if you want to do something big, a big piece of art, you can use a big piece of cardboard. Now this art project can be scaled up or down. You can make it large or you can go small. It's whatever you decide to do. So you just decide what size canvas you want to use, and then we'll go from there. Now we will need something to hang our container from. So first, Miss Lynn's going to show you a few options. I have a chopstick if you're going to use something small or you're making a small piece of art. I also have a big rolling pin. So one is obviously longer than the other. Miss Lynn is going to use the rolling pin because I want to make sure you can see what I'm doing. But a chopstick or a skewer or any kind of twig long stick, that will work. And I'll show you where it goes. We don't actually need any cereal or dry pasta, but Miss Lynn needs two containers that are nice and tall so that I can set my stick across it and hang my ink from, my spinning pendulum container of color. So first thing we want to do is grab our, I'm going to move everything aside for now. We want to grab our paint. We want to make a paint solution that will drip out of the bottom. So we'll need a little bit, I'm using black paint because I think it'll show up the nicest and the easiest. I'm going to add a tiny little droplet of food coloring. You don't have to do that, but I want a little bit of green in there so that you can see a hint of color. And we also need to puncture a hole at the bottom of our container. If you are using an old Keurig pod, you will have a puncture at the bottom already from your coffee machine. If not, I have a little thumbtack. You can use a thumbtack or a pin, and you just want to poke a little hole right in the center in the bottom of our container, as you can see, and it should be pretty big so that water can drip, and you can always do a test run. You can open your container, run it under the sink with some water, and make sure a stream of water comes out. You don't want it to be gushing out, but you definitely want there to be a stream for this art project to work. We don't need the cap. Now, where is, I have a container here just to mix my paint and my food coloring. So that's what I'll do first. I'm going to take my paint. I'm going to pour it in here. It's a lot of black paint there. All right. Close that up. Put that away. I'm going to grab some green food coloring. Just a couple droplets in there. Put that away. And I just want to mix maybe a little bit of water in here. So I have some water I'm just going to pour in here. And hopefully we're going to shake this up and we'll have a nice thick solution. All right, now I'm going to just look at my liquid, make sure it's all good. Yep, it looks good to me. So I'm going to keep that on the side until I'm ready to pour it in here. Next, what is the next step? Well, I'm going to grab some string here. And what I want to do is I want to tape the string onto my cup. I'm going to cut a piece of string. And I want to make sure it's long enough. Okay, I'll put my scissors here. I want to make sure it's going to be long enough. Yes, it'll be good. Now, what do we do next? We need to suspend our cup. So we're going to use, Miss Lynn is going to use these tall jars. Maybe you have 2 chairs, or maybe you have some big candle holders or big containers like these, or whatever you have, you can make it work. You can even stack books up. I'm just using these because this way you can get a really clear view of how this pendulum is going to work. So let's see, I'll put that there. Now I need my stick that goes directly on top. Okay, this is going to be cool. I'm going to turn my paper this way so that I can get the most out of this. All right, I'm going to add some tape right on the top just to secure my rolling pin from sliding off. So let's get some tape. All right, Miss Lynn's gonna put a little tape here just for safety purposes so this doesn't come flying off. And you guys can always do this craft outside if you're worried about making a big mess. All right, we've got our tape securing our rolling pin here. Now Miss Lynn is going to make sure that, okay, this is nice and long. I'm going to be suspending my cup right at the bottom here. So I'm going to cut this a little bit shorter, and then I'll show you what we're going to do. Grab some more tape. I'm going to tape it to my cup. I'm going to tape the ends to my cup. A little tape for each side. So I'm going to take my cup and I'm going to put my tape of the rope on one side here. Just taping it down. And then I'll bring the string around. And I'm going to tape my other side here. Just want to make sure that it is hanging nicely. All right, so I'm going to spin this around and it will start to drip. First, I'm going to pull my string out just a tad here. There we go. And this looks good to me. All right. Now it looks a little, I'm going to also tape my string right at the top so that it stays put and it doesn't fly everywhere. That's what's gonna happen right there. Okay, so finding a little stillness there. Let me add my piece of tape at the top. There we go, nice and secure. And let's just do a little test spin. When the ink is in there and we spin it around, it's going to, whoa, we're gonna maybe go like that, yeah. And then it will allow this to spin around. All right, let me just tighten this a little bit. Ah, whoa. All right. Cool, what do you guys think? Are you ready to see this in action? I think it's time to fill up our container with a little bit of that liquid, that color. Before I pour this in, I want to just show you that Miss Lynn is going to put a tiny little tape over the hole just so that I could pour this in without it starting to drip. And then I'll peel it off. All right, here we go. I'm going to pour this in. This super thick solution. Oh, it's dripping out already. Oh, goodness. All right, I better get started. I'm going to pull this off, and I'm going to allow it to spin around, and it's starting to drip. I don't know if you guys can see how cool this pattern is, but you'll get to check it out once it's all done. Oh, it's so cool. All right, I am going to spin it one more time just to make one more really cool pattern to it. All right, and when you're happy with the results, you can stop the dripping, add your tape back on. Where did I put my tape? Onto it, being very, very careful to cover that hole. And you can also remove your painting. All right, I am going to put my painting right over here so that it can dry, and then I will show you guys the finished product. And here's the finished product, you guys. I hope you had fun making your gravity art with Miss Lynn, and until next time, I will see you then. Goodbye to all my friends. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye to all my friends. I'll see you again. From your place to my place, from your room to the classroom. Goodbye to all my friends. I'll see you again.